What's up guys, what's going on? Definitely a sneaker review, just starting off a little different today. This is a folder that you get, if you guys, let me just pull a little closer so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Nike Lab, Bespoke ID, gold sticker on top of this. They give you a folder when you're done making your shoe. You can see the rendering here. It doesn't really do justice to the shoe. They just give you a rendering after you're done. Depending on what you do to the shoe, left and right, there are different variations that you can manifest while you're designing the shoe. Like they tell you certain things, but they don't tell you a lot of the details. They let you, get into it, and as they feel you out, they tell you more and more as you go, because it could be a little overwhelming. I'm not saying they hold back the information, but they don't want to overwhelm you all at once. So you start off by picking your materials. I wish I had the footage from when I went, but I will be doing another one very soon. So I'll probably get a way better detailed video for the next one, but it is a long wait time, so it'll be a while before you see that video. But anyway, when you walk in, there's like a whole bunch of drawers, and basically you get to select materials. You start picking them right away. You pick the model you want. There's Air Force 1, there's Air Force High, and then there's an Air Max 1. And basically I always pick the Air Max 1 because it's my favorite silhouette. And they've actually done something different this year, and they changed the silhouette of the shoe back to the original silhouette, so it has more of that slope to it, which is really dope. And I'll actually compare and contrast from my Bespoke from last year when this video is done. So it's gonna be a little lengthy, just to give you guys a heads up, but I'll give you a lot of insight into doing a Bespoke. It is $1,000. They do it at Nike Lab London and Nike Lab in New York City. The only two locations that you can do a Bespoke, just a heads up. So if you're planning a trip to New York or London, I would definitely inquire about that prior to your trip. And it takes about 2 to 3 hours depending on how you design. It took me about 20 minutes to a half an hour after I picked my materials to bang the shoe out, basically, because I'm familiar a little bit more with where I want stuff and layouts and just particulars of a shoe. A whole bunch of Nike Lab cards inside the folder as well. I'm gonna get into the shoe momentarily. Basically the contact of the guys that work at Nike Lab. I'm gonna throw this to the side for now. So like I said, the rendering's on the paper, doesn't really do it too much justice. They also give you a USB with the shoe on there as well. I've never even looked at this USB, just a heads up. So maybe if there's some dope pics on here, I'll show it to you guys while this clip is going on right now. So that's what those pictures are. If they're dope, if not, there's no pictures, but a cool little keychain USB. Clear it off and use it on your keychain, whatever you want to do. And then also inside the center here are all the materials that you would pick or that you had picked for your shoe. Almost all the materials are here. Some of them are missing. Sometimes they don't have the samples to give out, but as you can see, I went with a black and red shoe from the rendering. Basically, I only changed a couple different effects on the shoe. You can choose to make the shoe very symmetrical, asymmetrical. You can almost make like a what the if you really wanted to. My other shoe, I'll show you those or that idea when I pull it out, but you got some red 3M. You got black and red, but this is very subtle hits. I'll explain that to you momentarily. You can also invert the material as well, so it's not just one side. You could use both sides of the material. A little red suede that I used on the upper portion of the tongue area. Kevlar, which I use for the toe box. So you get a lot of black mesh, which I use for the side panels. So you get all the materials, or basically all the materials. I use cork as well on the footbed and the heel cup, but I'll get into all the details momentarily. And then you also get a layout of the shoe and detailed portions of where you put everything. So that's kind of cool as well. So if you're not familiar with like what to call something or where something is, like they give you basically everything on here. So they give you your extras on the bottom as well. So I got laces in black, second set are university red. I'll show you all that. Aglets are university red on the black pair, and then silver on the red pair, I think. Yeah, I'm actually looking at them right now to tell you your name, and then I'll get into the box momentarily. So I'll put timestamps up so you guys can see like all, you can jump portions if you want to. I should have said that already, but whatever. If you see time popping up, it's so you can jump past certain bullshit talking. All right, so now this is the box. When they do come in, box is basically all black, and then on the bottom of it, you get all your details. It doesn't tell you what size it is unless you turn it over. It says the date that you made the shoe, the designer that helped comprise the shoe on the computer while you're there. Air Max 1 Bespoke, for me, my name, Nike Lab, not my name, but it's like whatever I use in the store. 21 Mercer is the location you do it at, and then we'll do another cutscene and we'll get into it after I open this up. Before I pull the shoes out, you can see they come with these nice suede dust bags, very well constructed. I mean, you're paying a decent amount of money for it. It is $1,000 flat, if I didn't mention that before. To do a Bespoke, I think it's like $1,088, but they cut the 88 off and just make it 1,000 flat. But it's definitely an experience. So another cutscene and I'll pull the shoes out. And here is the final product. So as you can see from the rendering, it does it no justice just because it's really just a rendering. When you look at it on the computer, it doesn't do it justice either. So you kind of have to have a good feel for materials and know, I mean, you're looking at materials in front of you, but like kind of have a good visual in your own mind of how it's gonna look comprised, just because, you know, the rendering isn't the best. But I went really subtle with my different effects on this shoe. Basically, I only changed the swooshes and the underlays on all of the shoes, and I added some numbers to the back to personalize it a little bit. Basically, each swoosh is a different black material. So there's black croc on one. There's this is the black croc. This is the black croc on this bad boy on the outside. I don't know if you guys can see it. Give a little glare so you guys can see it. And then when you flip it over, this is the diamond cut. So this is black diamond cut on the inside of this swoosh. There's also a different underlay effect. The two outsides or the two lateral sides have a red 3M underlay, and the underlay on this one is a red, what the fuck is it called? It's a red safari. So this is black safari across here. It's red safari on my underlay, which you really can't see too well, but I know it's there, and you can catch little hints of it if you look really, really close inside. I mean, most people don't look really, really close inside. I just know it's there, and I like that detail effect. Then you got the black python on this one, and then on the inside it's the black ostrich. So on the inside of this one is the black ostrich. So that's really like the only detail effect that's really different on all of the shoes. Just a heads up on that. And then I'll get into the rest of the detailing while this one's down here. Basically, I went in there with the idea of doing a green shoe, and I came out with a black and red shoe. I really have no rhyme or reason to when I go in to do a bespoke. I kind of go in with an idea like, I don't know yet. It's basically how I like to go in, nice and clean and fresh, and not really stressing out about what I'm gonna do until I start grabbing materials. Materials really what make up a shoe for me. I say it all the time, and I like to use different materials and have different effects on shoes. So I went black and red because I wanted to wear this more than my first bespoke. My first bespoke I wear once in a while. I like to wear these a lot more, especially with the fall coming. So that was another thought process when I started grabbing materials. But let's get into details. So details across the mudguard, toe cap, whatever you want to go with, a black safari with a red mini swoosh. Toe box has got the Kevlar in the black and red. I'll continue along the lateral side before I finish there. Black and red again. Black mesh on the underlay of the mid panel on the lateral and medial side, but I'll show that to you when I get to the medial side. Underlay on the swoosh is a red 3M. Overlay on this one is the black python, again with the Kevlar in the black and red. A black 3M hit on the last portion of the aglet area with a red actual grommet portion for your laces. Rolling into the heel cup is your black safari again. I did black cork as the, let me push this out of the way so you guys can see a little bit better. I did black cork as the cup area for the heel, which is also known as the foxing. So the foxing is in cork. Rolling around, my 21 is like the number I've had forever. 18183 is my birthday, so basically I used the 21 as the 2 and the 1 because I don't want to just be 1 and everybody uses 12. So I try to switch it up a little bit. Paul O'Neill is my favorite baseball player. Rolling around to the medial side, you can see the rest of the cork finishing off. You got your black mesh again. You have the ostrich leather on this one, and the black, I'm sorry, the red safari on the underlay of that. Same thing with the last grommet and the portion with the black 3M and the red. Toe cap, black safari again. U-throats got the same mesh from the upper. Actually, the U-throat is a black Kevlar. So this is black and red Kevlar. The U-throat here is just black Kevlar. So I switched that up a little bit. The tongue has got black denim as the tongue, and then the red suede for the moniker on the top portion with a Nike swoosh, or where the Nike swoosh is. Sometimes it says Air Max 1. You can change all of this. You could, my other shoe I put a 0 there. So I mean, you can really do whatever you want on it detail wise. I used a red canvas for the last loop section for the laces to keep them in place, or the tongue in place. Back of the tongue has got black Napa leather, same thing on the other portion. I switched this up from my first one because I used suede on the inside like a dope, and the gray suede kind of rubs off on my ankles, it rubs off on my socks. It's kind of a pain in the ass, plus it really soaks up the like the denim. It just eats it right up, so it's like blue and shit. I'll show it to you guys when I get over there. And then I did, let me take the shoe tree out. I did cork for the footbed. Cork is super comfortable. Only thing is it doesn't age well. Just a heads up on that if you're wondering about cork. But yeah, that's the whole shoe. I'll show you the other shoe with the other detail effects on the swoosh. So this is the black croc print with a 3M underlay on the red, and this is the diamond cut with the red safari on the underlay. So super easy. We'll do the midsole. I went all black on midsole with a red air bubble. Super easy. You can swap out the air bubbles if you want to. And then outsole, I did a little something different. So you can switch all these panels are different pieces. So obviously the front I did red, I did black translucent, which won't yellow, which is why you like to go with a darker color. Red again, and then the black translucent for the heel portion as well. Big fan, love the shoe, very happy. It's very wearable, which is what I wanted to go for. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing one very, very soon. And I'm definitely gonna get better footage because now I know what I have to get as far as shooting and what I'm missing right now. So it's a lot fresher in my mind. Laces are black with a red agate. The other spare laces that you can get are red with a silver agate, just something to pop them a little bit. I'm gonna throw them inside here. Actually, I gotta put the shoe tree back in. I'm gonna keep one shoe out and I'm gonna pull out my first bespoke, so a little cutscene, all right? So as you guys can see, the color variation is very different as from my first to my second, but I'm gonna show you the extras. You can do extra footbeds if you want to. You really have to ask though. It's not like give you extra footbeds. You gotta throw the request in there because I want to use some material on the shoe and I had no place to put it. So like if you want, you can make it footbed. So that's what I did. Let's get into it. I don't need to pull the other shoe out because I didn't do much different. I just inverted the colors on the medial and lateral side, so I can just keep one out. I'm gonna turn this one down black and red, put it over here. You guys can see it, and then I'll keep this one up. So as you can see, like I did a lot of different things on the vamp, the mud guard, I did a black nap, I did a navy, like a ocean navy Napa leather into a blue suede on the front portion of the toe cap or the vamp. U-throat is a sail, very buttery leather, same thing as the tongue, but like I said before, like everything I used on the upper was so soft and supple that it kind of soaked up my jeans. So I have a little denim staining here. The suede on the inside has some denim staining, which is gonna be, it was a lot worse and I got some of it out, but it's still like kind of aggravating to have it in there, but it's still my shoe, so I don't care. I did denim again, but in like a selvedge denim across the heel portion with the baseball stitch, which I didn't do on the other shoe. I just didn't want to do baseball stitch. I didn't want to do the same thing again. A gray Napa leather as the upper portion of the Achilles area. Rolling around, as you guys can see, I did pink on the inside and I inverted my my swooshes as well. So basically I have a white sail, which is right here as well, a white sail leather, and the underlay is 3M navy. And then I flipped it over and I did a 3M upper with a white sail underlay, which is kind of what I did on the other one, but in a different regard. 3M on the upper, and then I did a very pink or powder pink underlay on the panel, and then I flipped it to a gray on the outer, and then I inverted the last grommet area as well. So I did gray on the upper portion here, and then flipped it. You could see that the tongue is different with the moniker. So instead of using suede, I used this canvas hit, which is the same as the toe box, and I put a 0 in there to match up with my logo. I put a 0 across the heel portion, no number. So I did a lot of different things on this. I also switched out the bubbles. So one bubble's pink on this and the other one's gray. So I'll show you guys real quick. This is the left shoe and the right shoe. The left shoe has a gray bubble. The right shoe has the pink bubble. And like I said, I didn't really change much on the swooshes. I really just changed the actual shoes themselves, so has a different effect from the upper look or the look down on it. Very, very clean. And then the outsoles, as you guys can see, I've worn them. I did the same effect with the outsole. So I did white on the tip, I did translucent pink, white in the mid, and then navy on the back to kind of mesh the shoe together, at least from a side perspective. I definitely have to clean them a little bit, but yeah, that was my first bespoke, and then we switched to this bespoke, so it's completely different. I feel like I achieved to not have the same look. I mean, I'll never have the same look on the shoe, but I want to make sure especially that it wasn't, you know, too close. But I mean, black and red's never gonna be too close. But anyway, I don't know if you guys can see it from the upper portion, but I could see it from the side portion. So you can see the slope on the new bespoke as opposed to the slope which is non-existent on the other bespoke. You can see how it cuts. See if I can do a side-by-side or some shit in the video, but you can see how the lower one slopes more and this one is boxier. So it kind of comes down, cuts, and then flattens out, whereas this one kind of finishes off from the top down to the tip of the toe. So that's the shape change from last year to this year on the bespoke. Just a heads up if you're looking for it, but I do prefer the shape on this one a little bit more. I mean, once you put it on, you can't really tell too much, but looking at it, I can see it way more on the new bespoke as opposed to the old bespoke. I'm gonna try and put them flat so you guys can see. You can see that little arch that goes down. This is definitely a better look. So you come down and you flatten out as opposed to just a straight slope down. There's like a little kick, but not much. when you come across this way as opposed to this one. You can definitely tell there's a flattened off area. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm gonna try and cut some stuff out so it's not a 20-minute review, because that's what I'm looking at right now. Shoot a thumbs up if you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, hit me in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I'm out of here. Peace.